Good afternoon or good evening for everyone.
Good
Really,
evening.
it's just good afternoon for me. But we've just seen the end of Dora, the selection for Croatia, and the winner is Mia Dimšić. There are two Mias, so I had to make sure that I got the name right. So the song that she's going to be bringing is called Guilty Pleasure. She pretty much won by a landslide. It was a huge margin from her and the second place artist. And I believe it was unanimous too. It was both the juries and the televote that agreed that she should go to Eurovision. I'm going to start with you, Nicola. What do you think about our winner?
I kind of predicted that she was going to win. That's what I wrote on my paper because the song is very interesting and the performance wasn't like quite there ready for Eurovision, but it had potential. I really like the song, and it's the song that I would put in my playlist as well. I, however, think it needs to have a revamp because it's a little bit weak on production, but the song is well written, and I love. I think melody is very catchy, and it's also like lyrics are a little bit, let's say, dirty in a way, and yet the melody is very sweet and subtle. So I think that's nice contrast.
Oh, so you don't mean like dirty in a sexual way?
No.
Yeah, well, because she's kind of dissing this other girl, right? And I'm curious, when you talk about the production, in what ways, because I think it's pretty well produced, in what ways do you think that you would want to see it changed?
I think it sounds like a demo version, and it's a little bit more like drum and bass, or to make it like more, to give it oomph that it needs. I think it sounds like unfinished project for me.
I'm going to go to you, Yana, in just a second. Let's just say hello to some people who are joining us. Sarah's channeling all of our thoughts on a Saturday evening. Hard to be in two places at once. In the case of today, hard to be in 6 places at once because we have 6 shows that are deciding their artist, and then 7 if you include Melfest. Of course, Melfest has already ended. Hello to Mark Sendra Alemany. Nice to see you. And hello to Rai Bailey, who was hoping for Marko or Bernarda. I assume you mean Bernarda. So Yana, tell me, what do you think about our winner?
I really like that the song has different influences. Like the intro really reminds me of a Western country theme, and I love that. I really love her voice. It's so special. It's so different to the other voices. It's a cute song, and I think it can do well. Yeah, we need a better staging. I mean, I love the stone she was sitting on. It was different to the other songs. I really like that, but it still should improve a bit. Yeah, I agree with Nicola in this case.
So, what I found about the staging is that I think that it was among the most interesting. Like, it wasn't big and over the top because the song is quite understated as it is, but there was a dialogue going on between her and her dancer, and the dancer was very expressive in his movements, and it gave you something to follow without distracting from her. I think that one thing that we will see when it comes to Eurovision is that they'll have automated mixing, which makes a difference. In this case, I don't think that they have an automated system which you plug in all the shots and then it kind of does all the switching for you. In this case, it appears to be very manual. Obviously, I could be wrong about that because it's not like I'm inside the studio, but I think that having that level of precision would really help make it a bit more of a cinematic experience. But I have to say that I really liked at least what was happening on stage, and performance-wise, it was pretty good. And the song, I would say it's in a position to stand out at Eurovision because we don't really have anything that's this level of acoustic, I would say, so far. And it's not acoustic like a ballad. It's more, it's acoustic pop, right? There's a bit of a beat to it. It's not like a dance beat, but it's not a song that can be very easily categorized. So I think there's a lot. There's a lot that can be done with this one. Yes, it is understated, but we need songs that change up the tempo. It can't all be bops. Even though I was also a fan of, as Rai Bailey puts it, Bernarda. It's Bernarda, get it right. Hello to AM Rifki. Hi, everyone. I hope for Mia N or Marko B, but Mia D took it instead. So far, none of my top faves in the selections won tonight. I hope that things turn around for you. Obviously, there's lots of selections as we heard. But let's talk about some of those other people, because one of the expected winners, when I spoke with Sanya earlier this week, was Mia N. And I'm blanking on her last name. But Mia has tried, I believe this is her third attempt, and we thought it was going to be third time's a charm. Wasn't quite, she was close. She wasn't all the way down there in the ranking, but it was someone else's night. And I'm curious, I'll go back to you, Jano. What did you think about her performance tonight?
I really like that she was mixing English with Croatian, because Croatian is such a beautiful language, and I like that she was using it. And it was really emotional, especially in the ending when she was crying. I think she was a bit overwhelmed by her performance. It was really beautiful. And yeah, the whole performance was beautiful, though I didn't like the staging, and I was a bit sad about the staging because it had so much potential, but yeah, they didn't really use it. So yeah, maybe that was the problem in the end, why she didn't win. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. And we were talking about how this song was going to be staged when we discussed the songs earlier this week. And, when it comes to ballads, I think that you really walk a fine line of doing too little and doing too much. In this case, I guess it was a little too little, but, sometimes that minimalism can really work. I guess for a song that has this feeling, you could have elevated a little bit more, but I would have to watch it again to really kind of analyze it at that level. I agree that it did seem like there was kind of a magic that Mia D's entry had that Mia N's didn't. Nicola, what did you think?
I also thought that the staging was bad, that they didn't need to have all these LEDs production of music video or whatever that was. They should have kept it with just lights and focus on her more. She sang very well, and I mean, the song again has that Disney vibe. That's not a bad thing, but
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't like something completely out of the box. And I also think that after all, she was in that spot, second to perform, so that also I think affected a little bit televote.
Yeah, possibly. And then another artist that we can talk about that Gel or Yell, I don't know how to say her name, is telling us about. Marco would have been better, I think, but with a different stage, this one will be good too. So talking about the staging of Mia D's song. But Marco was also an artist that a lot of people had eyes on. I believe that his song was one of the highest, the most streamed. It was getting a lot of buzz. And one of the things that we were talking about was what the context of the song is, because the title translates to "Pray for Us," and there was a lot of curiosity about what he could be expressing by saying that. Nicola, what did you think about Marco?
He was my winner. I was so blown away. I think staging was exceptional. They did like everything. Everything was so precise. It has that Sacha Jean-Baptiste vibe, and he sang very well. I love the song. Song is like edgy and moody ballad. I'm not sure, as Sanya said in video, what's the message of a song, because it's a little bit vague.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that could have done very, very well at Eurovision.
I think
I
so
also
too.
I liked his styling, his attitude on a stage. Everything was it was a package.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it showed in some ways in the results, because he did get second, and his televote was also pretty substantial. I mean, in both cases, the televotes really were heavily towards those two entries. And then when you compared to some of the ones at the bottom where they got very few points. So, two really heavy favorite artists in this. And I agree with you as far as the song having a really compelling quality to it. It was quite haunting, and I was also very curious about what the context of the song was. I'm glad that I wasn't off-put by it when we actually saw it, just because we were talking about the possibility of having a religious context and whether or not that was going to be done in a tasteful way. Jana, what did you think about Marco?
Yeah, he was also my personal winner. So I'm glad he got second place at least. He had a great staging, great visuals. Everything was fitting together, and his voice was great. And I really liked the moments. He had powerful moments. He had emotional moments, especially the slow moments in the song. I really liked that. Yeah, it was great performance.
Yeah, I agree. It was definitely one to watch, and I'm glad that he at least got a good result. I'm wondering who else we can talk about. Nicola, who else was a standout for you that we haven't mentioned so far?
Bernarda for sure, because she had a dance song, and as we know, she is blind, and they managed to make her move in a way that was appropriate for her. She didn't look like lost on the stage. Her styling was very good. I liked her glasses.
Yeah.
I, however, think that song sounds like the song you would hear on 5Minecraft's video. That's not necessarily a good thing. However, I really respect her attempt, and it was ambitious, and they did it very well on the stage.
Yeah, and that's a real challenge to get an artist who is visually impaired to move in that way. I was really impressed that it was executed in that way. And obviously, she has to be guided at certain points, but the dancers, who obviously provide a lot of the movement, did a great job at giving her that guidance. And then she was still able, free to move. And I guess you still have to be careful to give her enough space so that, if a dancer's doing a very complex movement, that you're not going to, elbow her, right? Jana, what did you think about Bernarda?
Yeah, it was really modern. The choreo was really cool. I really liked it. And my problem was that the song didn't really stand out. It was just there. I mean, it is a nice song, but I prefer last year's song of another.
Yeah, Colors was, as I said before in other videos, Colors was my favorite, and I really admire her as an artist. She's got an incredible voice, and one thing that I saw in a comment on the video uploaded of the song was that if she had gone to Eurovision, it would have been a record breaker. It would have broken Israel's record from last year, because I think it was the whistle note that she does is a C7. I mean, I'm not a musician, don't quote me on that, but according to this YouTube comment, which is a really bad means of a source. Anyway, lots of love to Bernarda. Really impressed with the performance, and she got at least some love. I would have loved to see her on the podium at least. George Macon is saying, tonight is the first time I watched Mia's performance, and I'm unsure about how I feel about it. I didn't really like the staging, and I think the song is more of a grower for me. I think that these types of songs tend to be like that because they're not here to really grab your attention in a way that a bop would, right? Or like a really emotive ballad that's all about belting and really flexing when it comes to vocal performances. And when you actually look at the vocals for a song like this, there's really none of that. It's all quite understated and subdued, and it still requires technique and getting the notes right, but there's a delicateness to it that is necessary in order for it to really get the feeling across. I know we kind of touched on the staging a bit already, but Jana, what do you think you would like to see when it comes to Mia's staging when we get to Eurovision?
Well, the song title is Guilty Pleasure, so I need a different staging. I need a bit more colors. I don't like a dark staging here in this case, because today we had so many blue stagings. It was crazy. Yeah, I would love that she will add some colors and maybe a bit more choreography.
And Nicolo, do you think it needs to be more colorful?
I'm not sure. I would rather keep it in like two colors or monochrome. I think it would stand out better that way. But I also like that they had this kind of staging because they're probably not going to keep it, so we don't know what to expect. It's more exciting than as it happens usually with Sweden, for example, when we already know what staging is going to look like. We have something different to expect. And I got tongue-tied. I also wanted to mention that this song has that sing-along quality, so it's definitely going to be catchy in Turin.
Yeah, as far as colors go, I think that you can make it more colorful, but it should still be more of like neutral tones, right? Like I'm seeing having like a stark black and white that's complemented by maybe like a neutral green, maybe like a not beige, but like a light pink. That kind of thing. Because I don't know, when I hear songs that are kind of like this, I always see like lush gardens on a cloudy day. I don't know if I'm getting way too specific or anything, but it's just it's kind of the kind of vibe that I get from the song.
No, that was my problem with the first song tonight, Ljubav, because it gave me spring vibes, but it was completely blue, dark blue, and I don't know, I needed some light green or something.
Yell is saying unpopular opinion, but I think Tia's song was great. It was different, but she was too nervous. I agree. Tia had a really, again, atmospheric song. It was different. It was not one that you would very easily categorize as a ballad or a pop song. I mean, it is a pop song, but it's not a banger, not this, overly sentimental kind of thing. One that we discussed in that video as well. Nicola, what did you think about Tia's song?
Before the show, she was one of my favorites, but she looked great. Her costume was exceptional. However, the staging was very static. She was nervous. She wasn't moving at all. She had like zero stage presence, and I think that's what made her, like, she didn't have many points from juries as well, and I don't remember how she did with televote, but she wasn't like in top 5, I think. And
no, I think she was quite far down.
Yes, and with good staging, that could have been like in top 3 at least.
I do think this is a classic case of when the song is so strong and expectations are high, and then the performance doesn't quite live up to it. And Yana, you agree with that as well?
Yeah, she was my second place after I was listening to the studio version, but the live was really flat, and yeah, I was a bit disappointed. But I think it could do well on Croatian radio, for example, because the studio version is really good.
Yeah, and I believe, if I remember correctly from the discussion I had with Sanya, I believe that this is also her second song, like, ever. So she's quite a fresh face on the music scene. And I think that this is at least a great step forward, especially when you have lots of people who really like the song, because that's the impression that I got from Sanya as well. So, this wasn't her year. Maybe she'll come back some other time with something that's equally as captivating and really win people over. Hello to Ernest saying Moli za nas was miles better. Connor John also saying Moli za nas was amazing. Guilty pleasure is nice, but it's not really anything more than that. It's just nice. Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised that the reception is kind of at that level. But I think we all agree that we really liked Moli za nas. Lived up to expectations. Fell short a little bit, but again, 2 really heavy favorites. A really top-heavy televote results. So it seems that people they were really into those 2 songs, but it could only be one. And Ry Bailey saying Marko was robbed. I don't know what you're referring to, if you're referring to everything, if you're referring to life, referring to us. But I think we'll leave it there because obviously it's going to be a busy night. We also have results coming in from other countries. If you haven't done so already, we would love for you to subscribe to Eurovox because we cover all the national selections, and there's lots more coming up. Let us know in the comments if you're watching this after the fact what you think about our winner for Croatia 2022, what you'd like to see them do in Turin, and who your other favorites were from tonight. We'll leave it there. Thank you so much, Nicola. Thank you, Yana, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.